Having a bad manager can kind of feel like this.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God! Help me, Allah! Ah! Help me, Tom Cruise!
Now, I'm not Tom Cruise, but I am here to help. In some of my earlier videos, I talked about toxic workplace cultures and why you have a bad boss, but in this video, I want to give you some options and advice about what to do if you have a toxic manager or boss, because what I love most is helping people. And by the way, don't forget to check the description for free workshops and downloads, and subscribe and ring the bell for all the latest updates. So, what do you do if you have a terrible boss? The normal route is just to suck it up until it becomes so unbearable that you have to quit and find a new job. But that's no good for anybody. Your organization loses out because they lose your talent. Your team loses out because they have to build a new relationship with whoever replaces you. And you lose out because you have to deal with all the bullshit. But it turns out that there are actually ways to accelerate your career while you deal with your bad boss. And many of these techniques also apply to toxic coworkers as well. The first technique is called the reboot. This works when the other person is a reasonable human being, but maybe you just got off on the wrong foot with them to start with. To reboot, all you need to do is go up to the manager and tell them that you feel like your relationship isn't what you'd like it to be. Then ask if you can talk things out. This isn't about getting an apology for them or offering one yourself. It's about leaving things in the past and moving forward. You might just be surprised how powerful this technique is. Let me give you an example. I was training coaches and teams at one of the organizations I used to work with. Now, this particular organization had a very strong attachment to the corporate hierarchy. One of the guys at the organization was the lead coach for a group that I was working with, and he believed that he was above me in the hierarchy, even though I was an external consultant and not even in the hierarchy. He also didn't really know what he was doing. Now, one day, he tried to tell me to do something that made no sense at all, so I didn't do it. So he came back to me a few days later and tried to assert his dominance. Well, if you know me, that's not gonna fly. I don't play games or get in political battles or power struggles. People hire me for my expertise, and that's what I bring, period. But I'm also a professional, and I know that I need to maintain good relationships to make a real impact. I also knew that I needed to address the situation, because if I didn't, things were gonna get worse. So I let him say his piece. A couple days later, I used the reboot. I asked him to talk. I told him that I wanted to move forward on a positive foot, and then we talked about how we could best work together. After that, I won't say that everything was perfect, but it was a remarkably better relationship. I even went to him when I needed help with certain things, and he came to me on several occasions as well. The next technique on the list is called the mirror. This one is used when you have a boss that is being overly controlling. All you have to do with the mirror is use the same technique on them that they're using on you. Here's another quick story to demonstrate the approach. Now, this one was early in my career when I was making slot machines. I was given the highest priority project in the company, and I was the product owner and the program manager. We were in the final certification process, and our product wasn't working, but we couldn't figure out why. Our team was trying everything. We even drove out to New Jersey and spent several days on site to try to get things running. Now, we also had a new VP of engineering, and he and I hadn't built a relationship yet. The VP sent me an email saying that he needed status reports several times a day. Now, this was complete nonsense to me because the VP didn't have anything to do with our effort. So I went to find him, and I told him that we needed his support. We had a bunch of people asking us for all this different information all the time, and it was keeping us from actually spending time on solving the problem. As a VP, I needed him to help keep everybody off our backs. And that was the last time I heard from him about the project. The key here was that he wanted to feel like everything was under control. He was coming to me asking for reports because that's what he knew, and that's what made him feel like everything was under control. But by exercising my own version of control, his need was satisfied. But the mirror technique could also work in many other situations. Just make sure not to use it with any sort of malice or manipulation or an attempt to control people, or it will likely backfire. Technique number 3 is called the bean counter. And this one has to be used carefully because it can come off as adversarial. Be sure to watch the warning section later in this video to keep yourself out of hot water. Now, the bean counter is simply using analytics and data to make your point. You aren't taking sides, you're just showing the data and letting others make their own decisions. With especially hostile managers who are insecure about themselves, this can be seen as an attack if your data proves them wrong. So use special caution in those scenarios. And technique number 4 is called the pole vault. Again, this one can be dangerous, which is why I'm going to share some warnings in a minute. But the pole vault is the technique you would use when you have an unreasonable manager making especially bad decisions, but a solid management chain above them in the organization. The pole vault entails making contact with somebody above your boss. The key here is to go in with a positive approach. You're there to find a solution to a problem, not to complain about your boss. After all, the people above you in the hierarchy put your boss there. So to say bad things about your boss would be to say bad things about your new contact's decision-making abilities. In fact, it's often better to make no claims at all and just to ask what that person wants. A quick example. I was working with the Fortune 100 financial institution early in my career, and there was quite a mess happening in the organization that was caused by the person that hired me. I pole vaulted to a VP level and asked the VP what he was trying to get with the transformation effort that I was working on. He started asking me questions, and I answered without throwing anyone under the bus. Next thing I knew, I was being asked to join an improvement committee with people several levels above my pay grade. Technique number 5 is called the bailout. And sometimes the right thing to do is just leave. This is typically the right decision when it's not just your immediate manager that's toxic, but your entire workplace culture. Of course, you can watch my video on that topic to see if that's the case at your organization. But if you want to give it one last shot before you make your decision, you can always tell someone in your management chain that you aren't okay with the way things are going and that you want to stay. But if things don't change, you're going to have to seek employment somewhere else. If they're a good company and they have the means, they'll probably help you find a solution. Just be prepared for things to not go your way and to be looking for another job. A couple quick warnings with these techniques. Most bad managers don't intend to be bad. That said, there are managers that will see these actions or even just doing a good job as a threat. There are also managers that will intentionally sabotage you. In working with thousands of people across the years, I can count fewer than 10 who truly have malicious intent. But as rare as they are, they do exist in almost every organization. These are people you should avoid like the plague because they will cause you pain sooner or later. You should also be aware that you must not use these techniques to lower other people's status. You need to find ways to raise your own status while also maintaining or raising theirs. As soon as you lower someone's status, they go on the defensive. And as soon as they go on the defensive, your chances of getting results are almost zero. Given that all managers are people, at least until AI takes over the world, results can sometimes be unpredictable. So it's up to you to assess the situation before applying any of these techniques. Of course, you could just avoid all of these problems to begin with by joining an organization that believes in self-organization or embraces the ideas that I teach in minimalist management. But those are topics for other videos. Don't forget to check the description, subscribe, and ring the bell for all the latest updates.